Officials say we could see a double peak here.
The governor also just last week signed an executive order saying that everyone has to wear a mask.
There is a large number of protesters at the Texas Capitol over the weekend.
These places can open as long as they maintain a 20% capacity.
The governor of this state says that he's expecting about 100,000 test kits to arrive this week from China.
So what happens next? Next is Friday, when the first of these businesses can actually open.
Now, this is the epicenter of the COVID-19 crisis in the state of Florida. We're talking about the counties of Palm Beach, Broward, and Miami-Dade. Tourism has been hammered. We just learned that Visit Florida estimates that since the outbreak, hotel revenues are down $1.6 billion year to year. Here's the deal. Governor Ron DeSantis is trying to figure out how to reopen the state. But here in Florida, the mayor of Jacksonville beat him to the punch. He reopened the beaches there in Duval County, creating a lot of controversy. There were viral videos of people not exercising social distancing. The mayor of Broward County said that in order for these counties to reopen, there needs to be widespread antibody testing. Granted, the governor of this state says that he's expecting about 100,000 test kits to arrive this week from China, and then those test kits would be dispersed. But they haven't arrived yet. We're trying to figure out where in the state those would go. But to the mayor's point in Broward County, that needs to happen so that the public can have confidence in the reopening of their state.
Here in Texas, the governor, Greg Abbott, has rolled out what he's describing as a phased approach to reopening the Texas economy. There is a great deal of pressure to reopen the Texas economy. There is a large number of protesters at the Texas Capitol over the weekend.
As a result of our combined efforts, I'm issuing executive orders today that will begin the process of opening Texas.
And that started on Monday with the reopening of state parks, most state parks across the state. There are some rules that you need to follow, like covering your face with a mask and that sort of thing. And then here on April 22nd, there is the beginning steps of reopening some surgeries and the ability of hospitals to do some work in a limited way. But this is really all gearing up toward what's happening on Friday and what's being described as, quote, retail to go. And essentially this will be giving retail stores the opportunity to reopen. Customers can't come inside. They can place their orders, and retail store owners can bring those items that are purchased out to the curb. The governor has said that toward the end of this month, they will begin reassessing and figuring out other venues and other things that can be opened up. The stay-at-home order remains in effect until May 1st.
I'm in Columbia, South Carolina, where this shopping village, 5 Points, has the types of businesses that have been allowed to reopen as of 5 p.m. Monday. There are businesses that sell furniture, clothing, accessories, florists, shoes. These places can open as long as they maintain a 20% capacity, and that includes this clothing shop over here. The owner says he's really excited to reopen, and because he's not expecting a huge crowd, he can maintain that social distancing.
If I see that the cases are spiking all week long in South Carolina, I will close again voluntarily rather than be a part of what may or may not have been a poor decision. We're just trying to find the right balance between having our livelihood 100% stripped away from us and making it possible for us to go on.
Meanwhile, Tuesday at noon, the governor turned the control of beaches back to local authorities. There were 4 Charleston area beach towns that were very concerned at the prospect of beaches being reopened. So they said that they would like to still restrict access to residents only. And the governor did say that he would allow local municipalities to make the best call for their particular area. So we are seeing South Carolina trying to make these decisions that are good for public health, but also good for business. The governor did say that he wanted to, quote, slingshot around competition to bring business back and to, quote, stomp on the gas and accelerate South Carolina.
California, Los Angeles County as a whole have done well getting ahead of this pandemic as much as possible. The state was the first to shut down with the stay-at-home order, and Los Angeles, the county, was right behind it just a couple of days later. But it's been well over a month that we've been in the stay-at-home order, and while you might begin to think that it's time to ease up, it's definitely not there. More than 15,000 Angelenos have tested positive for coronavirus, while it has killed more than 660 people here. A recent preliminary study of antibody testing in Los Angeles County suggests that there are hundreds of thousands of people here who have gotten the coronavirus. Now, the flip side of this means that there are 95% of Angelenos that have not gotten the virus, which means that they would be susceptible to getting sick. And if that were to happen based on loosening restrictions, that's when officials say we could see a double peak here.
So this debate over the governor partially reopening business in the state of Georgia has just been a huge hot topic all day long. And it's split. We have people coming up to us in the parking lot. And some say, look, the governor's right, business has suffered, you have to open up sometime and now is that time. Then there's the other half that are just in total disagreement, saying that so many Georgians have sacrificed so much by sheltering in place and staying home. You're going to give all of that away now and allow coronavirus to spread and grow and kill more people. You think it's a good idea on the part of the governor?
I do, if we do it cautiously. I do think bowling alleys are stupid and gyms are beyond stupid. Other than that, we need to start opening up.
Georgia hasn't been really that good at testing. In fact, it's behind a lot of other states. And this is the argument that those who are opposed to the governor reopening business are making. Because they're saying the governor really doesn't know how bad coronavirus is in the state if he doesn't really know and have a full testing picture.
Hey guys, it's Shimon Prokopez here in Times Square, of course in New York City. The city is on pause technically till May 15. We don't know how long that's going to last, right? The whole point obviously is to keep the numbers down. The fear is once you start letting people out, especially into an area like this, which can get very populated, the numbers could go up. Of course, the governor also just last week on Friday signed an executive order saying that everyone has to wear a mask when you go into stores here in New York, when you ride the subway, when you ride the buses. You have to wear your masks. In fact, a lot of stores now won't let you come in unless you wear a mask. For the most part, it's very obvious to me that people are staying home. You just have to look around. Most people not coming out, most people following the rules, trying to do their part to keep those numbers down.
When I first started climbing, I started going to all types of climbing events. And I noticed I was the only person of color. I went home and I was online and I searched, do black people rock climb? Because I was really curious, and my goal was to try and find where are all the black climbers. I found this forums that said black people don't climb, and I wanted to prove them wrong. Growing up, going to the woods, going outdoors was something that black people didn't do. At least that's what I was told. In New York City, you didn't really have too many options for sports. It was either basketball, football, or baseball if you're close enough to a park. I wanted to bring a fourth option to my community, and that's rock climbing. I co-founded Brothers of Climbing, an organization formed to tackle the lack of diversity in rock climbing and to help promote and encourage people of color and underrepresented groups to get in the outdoors. It's for men, women, anyone. If you feel underrepresented in climbing, you belong with us. When the group formed, there were only 3 of us, and now there's dozens of us, and it's a great feeling. In New York City, we host a monthly meetup. Across the country, we want to host a festival, and just other events in other cities. There are many reasons why there's a lack of representation in the sport of rock climbing. One reason is there's not too many mentors within our community teaching and spreading the knowledge. When I grew up, I never had that. Also, the industry doesn't do a great job showing the diversity that is in the sport. You can open up a catalog and you won't find a person of color in it. The minute you get out there and you start doing it and you realize how easy it is, something clicks and then you say, I can do this, I'm doing it, and I want other people to realize that.